I'm curious, y'all, how many of you didn't even know that we were in a push for SC1 these last couple weeks? Right? Like I was in a breakout room with someone earlier who's like, yeah, I started in Josh's office like yesterday. So it's cool to be here and all that. And I'm like, hey, great decision on being at SC1 today, but wow, man, you're in for a wild ride. And that was my experience when I was a new rep. SC1, I had heard of it. I was registered the event. I was looking forward to it, but it wasn't something that I was like, man, I'm going to sell a ton for this, And then I remember being there, and just seeing all of the different success across the different divisions that attended. And I'm like, my name's not on that list, like what the heck, And hopefully for all of you, you at this point of the event, you're in some way, shape, or form educated, right, as to how to get better results, but also feeling inspired, and thinking a little bit bigger of, hey, if I haven't had, what I would call breakout success yet, why not me? And that's what I want to talk to you about right now is what's next in a lot of respects, the main event, so to speak. So this isn't so much a message that you'll need to take notes on. We've had plenty of those and, still more to come, but in terms of the main event, in my eyes, SC2 has always been Vector and Cutco's main event every single year. Okay, but before we talk about the nitty gritty of SC2 coming up here at the end of the month of July, I want to just pitch you like, why July? Why could and should July be your biggest month of your summer? And for many of you, this July specifically, why it could be the biggest month of your career thus far. Well, I will just share with you, everybody in attendance, as a company, July is historically our biggest sales month every single year, whether it happens to be for you or not. As a company, we always sell more Cutco in July than we do any other month of the year. And, I'm sure we could point to a lot of reasons. We've got the July 4th holiday coming up, which I'm excited about, right? It's barbecue season. For those of you who do stuff like this, going to the lake, a lot of different parties and a lot of different sales. I feel like every single time I turn on my television around like a Memorial Day or a Labor Day and definitely July 4th, it's like July 4th blowout sale, biggest sale. There's just so many reasons to buy, right? It's America's holiday, so to speak. We've got the Sc2 Push coming up at in mid-July as well. And hopefully, even without those things, without a major holiday which sales you can take advantage of, even without the Sc2 Push, that you're rolling into this month with more momentum and confidence than you've ever had thus far at your job. Okay. July has huge income potential for all of you, right? How many of you, just by a quick show of hands, have hit at least one promotion during your time here? Sweet. You're making more today than you ever have before, right? You're at your highest commission percentage of your career so far. You do get the extra oomph, of those holiday sales to kickstart the month. But I will pitch this to you. For as much as we sell on July 4th weekend, and if you're like, Mike, I don't want to do demos all day. Like I want to hang with friends. I want to party. I want to barbecue. Here's the secret. And I'm not even sure if your managers want me saying this. They might want you doing demos all day, but I will tell you, between us friends, if you do 4 demos before 4 p.m. on the 4th of July, you're going to sell worst case $1,000. All right. And that is something I would jot down. 4 before 4 on the 4th. If you do 4 demos before 4 p.m. on the 4th of July, you will leave rolling into whatever type of parties, barbecues, celebrations of any kind with some serious cash in your pocket, feeling really good about yourself. Okay. But you have the 4th of July sales to kickstart the month. But really the meat and potatoes in my eyes is the Sc2 Push, right? Which we'll talk about here in a little bit. You get the added bonus of the weather, super nice. Zach was talking about golfing a little bit earlier. It's awesome weather for golf right now. And I've got a couple outings that I'm looking forward to, but just so much different outdoor events, outdoor excitement. And Cutco goes hand in hand with all of those different things. But again, even without those things, for huge income potential, hopefully, you've got huge momentum and confidence. right? Kayla, I remember talking to you briefly, wrapping up your fast start, right? And it was like, there's this huge number that I need to finish on my last day. I don't know if I can do it. And it was just like every BM and DM and Gateway was like, you for sure can, here's 8 ways to Sunday how you can get it done. And you got it done. I bet you felt like a woman on fire, ready to take over the world. And if you did it once, you can do it again. I've seen it in the way you show up to team meetings. I've seen it in the way that you even just carried yourself today. You are chock full of both momentum and confidence, and you have an entire month plus to take advantage of, right? For a lot of you too, this will be your last full month before going back to school for those of you that are students. And, Cutco doesn't go anywhere. Of course, you can sell when you're back at school, but I think we'd all agree it might be easier to do some pretty serious numbers without also managing, a full course load. You can sell a lot of Cutco in the fall and spring. Talk to Casey Cooper about that, right? If you want some examples, but you're kind of nearing the end of your summer race, so to speak. Now, just so I know, quick show of hands, how many of you ever ran like track or cross country, whether it was sprinting or like distance running at any point in your life? Okay, so I was called a high school cross country JV mediocre performer. I was never great at the sport, but I always remember in running a race, the closer I got to the finish line was just like this second wave of energy. It was like full of life again. And I could just bust it out and run my best race when the end was in sight. That's what July is like for all of you, right? And Tanner, whether you were thinking of it or not, man, President's Club is a lock for you, right? When you take advantage of all that July has to offer. I think it was Gina, you're talking about a scholarship race. As I know a handful of you are competing for it. The scholarship, you can really lock that down in July, right? Talk to Lindsay Paul now about that, right? But this is a page that I want you to screenshot. I'm going to roll through a lot in the next 10 to 15 minutes. This is something that either for those of you with Macs, Control Shift 3, Control Shift 4, Control Shift 5 it, or break open your phones, take a pic. For those of you with with Windows computers, I think it's like Control Print Screen. You're definitely going to want to have a copy of this. But there's a lot of different events coming up in July. Okay, to help you take maximum advantage of all that this awesome month has to offer you. And one thing is going to be the Sc2 Leadership Events. Okay, these events are going to be run by your division managers to help prep you for how to have an awesome push. We're going to kick off the push on Monday, the 12th with a division summit. And then the push contest itself, you'll want this in your calendar, is from the 13th to the 29th. The main event, of course, being the conference at the end of the month, Friday the 30th and Saturday the 31st to wrap up July in style. So again, I'll give you 5 more seconds to screenshot this. Control Shift 3, Control Print Screen, grab a phone, snap a pic. You're going to want these dates in your calendars. And here's just some tips of mine of how to really max out your experience coming up this month. Okay. The first thing that I think would be really helpful to all of us is have a PC with your manager, right? Just by a quick show of hands, how many of you have had a PC with your manager before, either in your fast start or right after, that just helped give you clarity, helped give you vision, and a little bit of the feeling of like, I can do this. I've got someone in my corner, right? PC with your manager, they'll help you set a target for what makes sense. They'll help you think bigger, and they'll help give you the tools and resources to accomplish what you want. Absolutely attend all of the Sc2 leadership meetings, right? If you thought the messages that you got at this event were educational and inspirational, we are going to lay it on thick for those of you that want to compete for the Sc2 push, okay? We'll get you everything that you need to know. Attend the mother of all phone jams. Okay, this was one of those love-hate things as a rep, but it was like, my manager came up to me, he's like, hey, just the Sunday before the push, get ready. We're going to make calls all day and set up like 30 demos. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And then I thought about it. I was like, wait, what did you just say? And he's like, no, dude, this is like the mother of all phone jams. This is the all day phone day, baby. You're going to line up 30 appointments. And I sat there and I was like, what would a week actually look like, Danny, if I rolled into it with 30 demos booked? Like, I feel like at that point, like, success is just an afterthought. Like, you can't miss when you have that. And all of you will have the opportunity the weekend of the 10th and the 11th to set up a massive amount of appointments before you even roll into the contest, right? I think it was Gino that said, the fight is won or lost, long before I entered in the ring, right? Kind of echoing Muhammad Ali. For many of you, with the work that you do on the phone blitz weekend, you're already going to have won the push, right? Like, you're going to roll in with so much confidence that it's like, even if you have this gaudy goal, there's no way that you miss, right? So participating in the Push Alliance, just by a quick wave, how many of you sold 10,000 or more in your fast start? Awesome. Small group, right? But a decent amount for the amount of people that we have here, right? Of those of you that sold 10,000 in your fast start, how many of you went to Champions Club, the Alliance, right? The Fast Start Alliance in the mornings. Wow, same hands, right? SC2, if you're thinking of going big, if you want some really incredible results in July, the Alliance is designed to get you that. And then, of course, we want you at the SC2 conference as well, as some refer to it as the Super Bowl of Vector. All right, but what is the SC2 push, right? It's a question that bears asking. Well, the push in my eyes is like the playoffs of Cutco, leading up to the main event that is SC2, right? Michael, we talk a lot about hockey, right? It's one of your passions. It's something that you're pursuing long-term. You've seen this, right? Every single year, so many teams compete in the playoffs for the Stanley Cup. Only one team wins the cup, right? But it's like the best that the NHL has to offer, and the talent just gets amplified and amplified and amplified every single level of the playoffs, right? That's what the push is. It's a 17-day push period designed to maximize your personal and your professional and your financial growth, okay? It's widely seen as the biggest push contest that our company hosts every single year. And what I like to say is it's 17 days to change your life. And for as corny as you may think that sounds, talk to anybody that's had great results during a push. They'll tell you the exact same thing. I'm seeing some head nods from a lot of my branch managers here too. It's 17 days to choose excellence, 17 days to change your life. The push dates, of course, are on the screen for you. But I also know that, with any big challenge comes, for a lot of us, a little bit of internal doubt of like, well, I know that people do that, but is it possible for me? Right, Taylor? I know that it's been done before, but can I actually pull something like that off? And I just have some questions for all of you to consider here. If you could redo your fast start, knowing everything that you know now about selling Cutco, how much more do you think you would sell? I want you to jot down that number on paper. If you could redo your fast start from scratch, knowing what you know now, how much more do you think you would sell? I sold 10,000 my fast start, and I was like, I was awful at this job when I did that. Right? I was terrible. For a lot of you, that's what SC2 can be. Fast start do-over, fast start 2.0. If you didn't have the fast start that you wanted to, it's an opportunity to prove that you can play with the big dogs, right? If you had a great fast start, as many of you did, it's an opportunity to prove that you're not a one-hit wonder, right? That you can accomplish at the highest levels time and time again. I have another question for you. How good could you be with Cutco if you gave it your absolute best for 17 days? What would that look like for you? Money's not everything, of course, but money does solve money problems. What do you think it would feel like when you earn $3,000 to $5,000 or more in 2 weeks? It's the first emotion that pops into your head when you hear that. What would it feel like to earn $3,000 to $5,000 in income in 2 weeks? I've seen Casey Cooper earn $7,000 and $10,000 in income in this push period. I have to imagine she thinks about money differently than she did when we met when she was 18. Here's another question for y'all to consider. If you've ever been the best at something before in your life, Cutco or otherwise, what does it feel like to be the absolute best at something? Be a master of your craft, to be top in your field. What does it feel like to be the best? Maybe you've never been the best at something before, and that's okay. But how do you imagine it would feel when you are? As I said before, the push, it is a chance for you to sell a lot of Cutco. It is a chance to earn a lot of income. But that's really not the thing that I feel is the biggest gain from people that participate in the Sc2 push. This is, however, by giving it your best for 17 days, Latrell, how would you see yourself growing and developing as a human being? What would change? Jake, what would the story be that you would start to tell yourself about yourself for the rest of your life if you gave it your absolute best for 17 days? What would your confidence be like, Lily? Elena, what would your resume look like? Would you walk around, Sarah, with a little bit more pep in your step? With your shoulders back and your chin held high, a little bit of swagger, right? You knew that you gave it your best for 17 days. How would that change you? All of us have that opportunity here at Cutco. And if you want the opportunity to do that for yourself, the alliance is what's going to get you there, right? Any great feat is rarely accomplished alone, right? You could think of the U.S. women's soccer team a handful of years ago, right? Winning the world championship. Any great feat is rarely accomplished alone. And so that's why your managers run what we call the Sc2 Push Alliance. It's an invitation-only group that meets daily, okay? Similar to Champions Club, but if you like, by the way, how many of you go to Champions Club, once or twice a week? You go every once in a blue moon, right? If you like the content that you get at Champions Club is like toe jam compared to the Sc2 Push Alliance. It walks all over it. And while in many of your offices, your branch or your district managers might not actually run Champions Club personally, we run this because we are committed to 17 days of excellence ourselves. And we want that for you as well. Okay. You can think of this as like the Green Berets or the Navy SEALs of Cutco. And not only do you get us in your corner, your branch and district managers in your corner, right? You get the public accountability, the public support of your peers that are also on the alliance. And so I'm thinking of moving forward, what does the rest of the summer look like? What can July be for me? I'll give you some simple steps first. It really is going to start for all of you with a push PC with your manager, right? You can have a vacation, by the way. If your family's already going out of town, you can be out of town and sell a lot of Cutco. Casey Cooper, had a push period a couple of years ago for a company trip to Cabo. She had 3 days to do what everybody else had 14 days to do because she had 2 philanthropic trips back to back. And Casey, I remember you booking 31 demos in a 3-day stretch, right? I remember you closing deals on the phone at the airport. I remember you getting emailed deals when you were in Costa Rica doing philanthropic work, right? And I also remember celebrating with you on the beaches of Cabo San Lucas, having a blast. I've seen people with other jobs do big things. Now, at some point, you're probably going to want to quit your job at Walgreens, and that's cool. I'm not going to coerce you into it, right? But I doubt they pay you $3 to $5 grand in 2 weeks for being, the checkout register person. Okay. But Teresa Monteleone on our staff, you know, she has 2 other jobs and she sold $10,000 in her first 10 days. Some of you are athletes with daily workshops, some of you 2-a-days, right? And you sold 10,000, 12,500 in your first 10 days, right? But the PC with your manager will help break it down for whether you want to go for 12,500, 15,000, 20,000, or whether you want to go for the region record of 73,000, how to break it down into number of appointments, when it makes sense to phone, who to call, and all of that. We will help you add names to your names list, right? I just want you to show up ready to rock. And I want you to show up with the close and the rec approach memorized. Those are all things, Joseph, that'll help you go after a really big push. Okay. We'll help you with a game plan. And Maxwell, by the way, this isn't a one and done with Lindsay. You know, you'll have a push PC and then another push PC, right, to help you track your progress. But we've got 4 weeks, right? We've got over a month before the push actually happens, and time is on your side with the prep, but we want to help you start preparing for it today. Okay. But of course, the end of the month, 30th and 31st, that's the main event, SC2. My favorite. I'm confident in saying it's my favorite event of the year. I remember my first SC2 being on stage, winning a push rock. It was an awesome feeling. There's nothing truly like it. For those of you that are driven by competition with your peers, there is nothing like it. You're competing on a new level. For those of you that are more motivated by competition with yourself, beating your personal best, there's nothing truly like SC2. For those of you that are motivated by being in an electric environment of your peers, there is nothing like SC2. And as has been stated before, events of its kind, whether it's Tony Robbins or Grant Cardone or whomever, you know, whatever business or personal development coach you want to go to, their events oftentimes are into the multiple thousands of dollars. For us, it's only $25. And that's pretty cool too. Another thing that I think is great about the events that we run, instead of, you know, padding my pockets for speaking here today, we're giving away the vast majority of proceeds to nonprofits. And I think that's great too. But at this event, you're going to get to learn from the best in the region. This event was awesome. SC2 is going to be even bigger, double the size. You're going to get recognized for your success, and you're going to get to help celebrate the success of your peers. It's an awesome environment. And again, you will leave inspired, educated, with a little bit of time to celebrate too. And so the region's got some cool stuff for you. We've got actually a contest today for signups. I was talking to Gerald last night in my office, and he's like, I'm already registered for SC2. I'm like, that's great. You're ahead of the curve, man. I love to see it. But I believe we'll be sharing this in the chat here in a minute. There's actually a Google form where you can get signed up for this event today. And Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even think they need to pay for it today, right? It's like a rep charge. You just comp it to your account, either the $25 in full, or you know how we like our options here at Vector. You can put it on a 3-pay, $8.33 a week over the next couple of weeks. So one thing that I love that the region's doing is one of y'all is going for free $99. Lakin, that's my favorite price for anything. So take a quick minute, go ahead and smash that link in the chat. It'll pull up the Google Doc for you. It'll let you register for the event in advance for the 30th and 31st. And like I said, Melissa, if you just want to charge it all away, $25 today, it's like a demo and a half on the base pay, right? It's like selling, for some of you, it's like selling a trimmer. You know, that's what you make on a trimmer, which is pretty cool. I'm fully confident leaving here today, all of you are going to get that done, right? And then some. Or if you want, LaShonda, like I said, you can chop it up over 3 months, right? But at the end of the event today, the region is going to be picking one person that registered today here at this event, and their conference is free. So again, go ahead and take a quick minute, grab that link in the chat. Make sure you fill out that info real quick for the SC2 event, the 30th and the 31st. Give me some thumbs ups and some head nods if we got the link. We got the link? Yeah, that's a lot of thumbs up. That's a lot of head nods. I will take it. Here's the deal, y'all. I know that you're feeling educated, inspired, and so forth. But I also remembered periods of time in my life feeling like I was at the top of my game, Grace, but still doubting if what I wanted to do was possible. Okay, and I want to share this with you. We'll help you with this as your management team. But unwavering faith and extraordinary effort will take care of everything else. Okay? Unwavering faith that you can do it, coupled with extraordinary effort along the way, I'm fully confident that all of you will hit your goals in July, in SC2, and for the summer ahead. Okay? And then moving forward, hopefully you've got some great perspective on what's possible. Not even just what's possible, Megan, but what's probable when you apply yourself, right? When you partner with your managers, when you take advantage of the resources that you have at your disposal. And for those of you that are done with the Google form, you got your registrations in, right? If you're still going with that, by the way, it should only take a couple of quick seconds to fill that out. But for those of you that have that Google form filled out, I want you to imagine if you knew that you couldn't fail, Charles, what would you sell this summer? Cheryl, if you knew that you could not fail, failure was an impossibility for you, what would you sell this summer? I want you to jot that number down, Zoe. Because I promise you this. All of us are capable of incredible things. You've proven that before in your life. I'm going to encourage you to prove it again to yourself here. Okay. So set your summer target. What do you want to make sure that you get out of your experience with us this summer? I want you to stay in tune with your managers. Call them daily for PDI. I want you to take advantage of the different group events that we have for you. Team meetings were always my favorite part of the job. Always my favorite part of the job. Go to every team meeting every week, whether your offices run them on Wednesday nights or Thursday nights. Go to every team meeting every week. Take advantage of as many champions clubs, as many rising stars, as many phone jams as possible that help you along your path to your goals. Work your hearts out this month. Have a blast while you do it. Have your best month ever. And of course, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you at the main event at the end of July, SC2.